Hello everyone! Today I'm going to teach you how to make this very cute opossum. And he also have a heart-shaped nose. And he also is a little bit chubby, which I really like. This tutorial is perfect for a beginner. I'm going to walk you step by step. So let's get started. For the materials, if you guys are interested, I also sell this crochet kit, which is available on my website at pitachang.com. It comes with everything that you will need to make this opossum, including this pattern card. So you can see all of the stuff that it comes with, including the hooks, the pin, yarn needle, stuffing, stitch marker, and all the yarn color. So we'll take a look one by one. First, you are going to need your stuffing. Then you will need your super bulky yarn in the gray and cream color. Next, you will need medium weight yarn. So there are 3 different ones. So the cream color, the black color, pink color. In this box, we also have the 2 crochet hooks, 6.5 mm and 3.5 mm. And then last but not least, in this tiny bag, we have couple pins and stitch marker along with the yarn needle. If you are new to crocheting, please make sure to check out my Amigurumi 101 playlist. In that playlist, you can learn how to make different crochet stitches along with the sewing techniques you will need in this tutorial. First, we are going to start off by making the ears looking something like this. You can see that the ear is flattened out. But since the ear is black color and black color is notorious for being hard to see, I'm actually going to show you how to make the ears using a lighter color yarn, such as these. If you have a hard time with black yarn, try practicing with lighter color yarn first. It's going to be much easier to follow. However, if you are more familiar with working with black yarn, you can start off with that. But here I'm going to use the lighter color yarn. In order to make the ear, we're going to start off by making a new loop. And if you have seen a lot of my video, to make a new loop, you're simply going to cross over the yarn like this. You're going to fold down the circle. And now grab your 3.5 mm hook, insert it under this piece of yarn. And while you do that, you're going to hold on to this short end of the tail and then long end of the tail. Hold it together and then pull your hook. It's going to form a loop, and you will see that the loop is slightly big. You want the loop size to be the same size as your hook. So what you're going to do is hold on to the short end of the tail while pulling onto the longer end like this, and this will reduce your loop size. So you just made a new loop. Now let's make chains. You're going to have to chain 2 times, and in order to do that, you're simply going to yarn over hook and then pull through your loop. So this is 1 chain. Repeat one more time, yarn over hook and then pull through. So now you got 1 chain, 2 chain, so 2 in total. Next, you are going to make 6 single crochet into this first chain or stitch. You're gonna do that by inserting your hook into this first chain, and to make a single crochet you're simply going to yarn over hook, pull through. Notice how now you have 2 loops. You're gonna yarn over hook again and then pull through the first loop and then the second loop. This is what a single crochet looks like. You're simply going to repeat it 5 more times. So I'm going to insert my hook back into that same hole or the same chain. So yarn over hook, pull through, and then yarn over hook again and pull through both loops. That's my second single crochet. So just repeating it again by inserting the hook into that same chain, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. This is my third single crochet. You see 1, 2, and then 3. Gonna repeat 3 more times. So yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. This is my fourth single crochet. And then same thing, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. That's my fifth single crochet. And then last one, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. That's my sixth single crochet. So this is the end of round 1. At the end of each round, you should count your total number of stitches. Make sure it's correct before proceeding, because once you are missing a stitch or added extra stitch, it's going to be hard to correct it once you have passed on. So make sure each round is correct. So in this first round, you should have only 6 stitches in total. So I'm going to count. This is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then this is 5, and then this is 6. So we have the right number of stitches in this round. If this hole in the middle is a bit too big, you can also tighten it a little bit by pulling on the short end of the tail. Hold your piece and then pull. You'll notice that it reduces in size a little bit, so that will help. And at the end of every round, what you should also do is insert a stitch marker. You could use a scrape yarn or the actual stitch marker, which looks like this, to insert into there. And to pause your work, you can pull, like hold your piece and then pull your hook out like this and then take it off. Now I'm gonna grab my stitch marker and insert it into the last stitch of the round. You should see that the stitch marker is going under, the front and back loop of this last stitch, and then rotate it a little bit, and then it will stay there. And to continue your work, you can just put back the hook and then pull on this long end of the tail to reduce the size of the current loop. For round 2, we are going to make an increase. The stitch, I call it an increase, and what it is you basically have to make 2 single crochet in a single stitch. And when you do that, you're going to be expanding your piece. That's why I call it an increase. So we're gonna start off by inserting this hook into this first stitch here. And when you crochet, make sure that your hook is going inside both of the loop, because when you do a single crochet, you're gonna have the front loop and then the back loop. If you insert your hook into just the front loop, that will give a different sort of texture on your piece. Same thing if you're only going through the back loop, same thing will happen. It would be different texture, but that's kind of the idea. So make sure to insert your hook under, both loops here. So let's make a single crochet, and you already know how to do this by yarn over hook, and we're going to pull it through. Now we have 2 loops, so yarn over hook again and pull through both loops. So I just made 1 single crochet in that first stitch. To make an increase, insert your hook into that same stitch, so the first one, and then make another single crochet here. So now you can see that this is an increase because this stitch consists of 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Since we already made that increase in the first stitch, we're just gonna repeat throughout this round. So in the second stitch, we also going to increase by making 2 single crochet in that same stitch, like that. And now onto the third one. I'm also making an increase. Okay. Now onto the fourth stitch. 1. Okay, 2. Now onto the fifth stitch. 1, 2. And then now that we're on the last stitch, or the 6th stitch here, I'm gonna take out my yarn marker so that I can crochet in this last stitch. And just, try to remember that this is the last one now that we took out the stitch marker. So 1 and 2. So now that we are done with the second round, I would try to put in the stitch marker right away because I have kind of a short-term memory and I'm gonna forget where I'm at. So it's a good practice to do that right away. So I'm just inserting the stitch marker into this last stitch of the second round. And in this round 2, you should have a total of 12 stitches in this round. So I'm going to count for you, starting with the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For round 3, we are going to follow a sequence, and I usually do that a lot in my pattern. It makes it easier, we just keep the pattern simple. The sequence for this round is making 1 single crochet in the first stitch and making an increase in the second stitch, and you're going to repeat that for a total of 6 times. So I'm gonna illustrate that by completing the full round so that you can see what it looks like. So in the first stitch, let's make a single crochet. There we go. In the stitch after, we're going to make an increase, and again, an increase is just 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So that's 1 single crochet in the second stitch. Now I have to make 1 more. Alright, so we have an increase here, we have a single crochet here, and then an increase after that. So this whole thing is a sequence, and I'm going to repeat that same sequence on the sets of stitches after. So same thing, 1 single crochet and then an increase. as you can see, that's a single crochet and then this is an increase. So I repeated the sequence twice already, so I just need to keep going until the end of the round. So again, 1 single crochet, then an increase, so this 1, 2, so that's another sequence there. And let me just repeat it 3 more times. So the single crochet, 1, 2, okay, that's the increase, so 1 and then increase. One single crochet, 1, 2, so that's another sequence here. And then lastly, 1 single crochet, and then I need to take out the stitch marker to make an increase. Okay, this is the last sequence right here. 1 single crochet, increase. And now that we are done, I'm going to insert a stitch marker into the last stitch of this round. Alright, you can see that the piece started to expand. That's because we made a lot of increases in this round. I'm going to count starting with the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's the end of round 3. Round 4, all we need to do is single crochet around. What that means is for each stitch, you're just gonna make 1 single crochet each. So this round is actually a lot easier than the third round, right? So all you need to do is 1 single crochet in each stitch. So moving on to the next stitch, I'm just gonna make another single crochet. Okay, stitch after that, just a single crochet. So I'm gonna keep going until we reach the end of round 4. You can just start crocheting with me here. And as you keep crocheting, you will notice that your piece will start to curve in, or I guess stop expanding. Same thing. Alright, just a few more, almost done with this round. And again, for the last stitch, make sure to take out the stitch marker first, and then you can make the single crochet. So here I'm at the end of round 4. Let's insert back the stitch marker at that last stitch of this round. And here is the end of round 4. You can see that the piece finally stopped expanding, and now it's kind of curved in a little bit, not too much. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 18 stitches as well. So I will count for you again, starting with the first stitch right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, this is 12. And then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18. If this piece of tail is in the way, you can just cut it off as well. So I like to trim it not too close to the middle so nothing will be unwinded accidentally. Just, keep it short, out of the way. So for round 5, things will look slightly different. We're going to first follow a sequence 4 times, and then at the end of this round we're just gonna make 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So let me tell you what the sequence will look like first. So the sequence is 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch, followed by a decrease. So in previous rounds you have learned about how to increase. Decrease is basically an opposite stitch. Decrease what we will do is crochet 2 stitches together and make it into 1. It's kind of reducing the number of stitches, opposite of increase. We'll see that in a bit, but first I'm gonna start the sequence by making 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So in this first stitch I'm going to make a single crochet. In the next stitch I'm gonna make a single crochet. So that's 2 single crochet in 1 in each stitch. And next part of the sequence is to make a decrease. To do that, insert your hook into the first. Well, this is when I say first stitch is all relative, but in fact this one is actually a 3rd stitch, okay? But relatively to the first 2 stitches that I made, this will be my next stitch. Okay, so insert your hook, yarn over hook, and then pull through. Insert the hook into the next stitch after that, yarn over hook, and then pull through. Notice how now you have 3 stitches total. You're going to yarn over hook again and then pull through all 3 loops. And I like to make sure I pull it tight so that this decrease stitch, as you can see here, doesn't look too big. So we have just made our sequence 1 time already. So this is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, followed by a decrease. So let's repeat that 3 more times. Okay, so in the stitch after I'm going to make 1 single crochet. In the stitch after that, still 1 single crochet, and in the 2 stitches after that, that will be our decrease. So yarn over hook, pull through, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through again. Now you have 3 loops, and you're going to yarn over hook and pull through all the stitches. Through all the loops. So here is the second sequence. We have 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, followed by a decrease. Repeat this. We just need to repeat it 2 more times. So I'm gonna make 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and working on my decrease. Okay, here we go. So that's the 3rd time we repeat the sequence. Okay, just 1 more time. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, okay, let's say decrease. So that's the 4th time we repeating the sequence. And now for the last 2 stitches of the round, this one and that one, we're just gonna make 1 single crochet in that stitch and then in the last one as well. All right, now we are done with round 5, and since round 5 is the last round for the ear, I'm not gonna put in the stitch marker, but instead we will have to finish off right here. By finishing off, you will need to pause your work first, just like what I did, and then we'll come here and trying to see, you know, how far off we need to cut the tail. So this, I call it a tail. We want to leave it a long tail so that you have enough tail to sew the ear piece to the head. So after chopping off the tail here, what you're going to do to finish off is insert your hook into the loop again and then just pull it through. This is what I call finish off. Other people call it fasten off. It's the same thing. So this is what your ear should look like. Once you finish off, just make sure that your ear is all flat. You can flatten it out by, you know, pressing on it. The unflattened one would look like this, kind of like a half sphere, but you can flatten it. We're gonna sew it looking like this. Okay, next we are going to make 4 of these feet. As you can see, they look somewhat like a half sphere or half circle, not quite, I guess more like a half oval shape, but 4 of them. And since these legs or feet is in black color as well, I'm going to show you the tutorial in the lighter color here. First, we're going to start off with making a new loop using the black color yarn. You should be using the black yarn, but I'm going to use this lighter color. And here we have a new loop. Once you're done that, you're going to chain 2 times. Okay, so 1 and then 2. And this part is basically similar to how we started off when we make the ears. So in the first chain, let's make 6 single crochet. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. 5. And then 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'm gonna tighten the hole a little bit. Okay, here we are good. Let's insert the stitch marker into the last stitch of the round, and we are done with round 1. For round 2, we are going to follow a sequence, and that sequence is 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and let's repeat the sequence 3 times. Okay, so in the next stitch, let's do 1 single crochet, and in the stitch after that, I'm gonna do an increase. So 1, 2. So let me show you. So this is the 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and this is 2 single crochet or an increase in the second stitch. So that's one sequence, and let's repeat it 2 more times. So 1 single crochet followed by an increase. That's 1, that's 2. So this is the second time we did the sequence, 1 single crochet and then increase, and repeat it 1 more time. Oh, sorry, I came off, so let's try that again. 1 single crochet, and then I need to take off the stitch marker to make an increase. 1, 2. So this is our third sequence, 1 single crochet and then increase. And now we're at the end of round 2, so I'm going to insert the stitch marker into this last stitch of this round. At the end of round 2, you should have a total of 9 stitches. Please count it. I'm not gonna keep counting each round, but it's a good practice that you do. For round 3, we're going to follow an irregular sort of sequence. It's not even a sequence at all, to be honest with you. So please pay attention. For the next 2 stitches, we're just gonna make 1 single crochet each. So let's do that first. Sometimes in my pattern, it just shows up as 2 single crochet, and what I mean is, you know, in the next few stitches, make a single crochet each. So that's 1, and that's the other one. So 1, 2, and in the third stitch, makes an increase using, you know, single crochet. Okay, there you go. And after that, we're just gonna make 2 single crochet, 1 in each. 1, 2. Now in the next stitch, we're gonna make an increase, but this increase is slightly different because usually we use 2 single crochet to make an increase, but this time you need to use something called a half double crochet. I'm going to show you how to make a half double crochet. First, you are going to yarn over hook and then insert your hook into the next stitch, just like this. Next, yarn over the hook again and then pull through. You will notice that you have 3 loops. Yarn over hook again and pull through all the loops. This is your half double crochet. But since in this stitch here we need to make a half double crochet increase, we need to make 1 more half double crochet in the same stitch as your first half double crochet. So let's yarn over hook and insert the hook into that same stitch, yarn over hook again and pull through, yarn over hook again and pull through all 3 loops. Alright, here we have a half double crochet increase. You can see that half double crochet, the height of the stitch is slightly taller than a typical, you know, single crochet. That's how you tell a difference. Alright, for the next 2 stitches, we are going to make something called a double crochet. Now I'm going to show you how the double crochet works. So you're going to yarn over hook and then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook again, and then pull through. Notice how you have 3 loops here. Yarn over hook. This time you're only gonna pull this yarn through the first 2 loops. So the first one and then the second one, but not the third one. Yarn over hook again and pull this yarn through both loops. Okay, here you can see that this is a double crochet right here. Double crochet is even taller than the half double crochet you see right here. That's how I tell the difference. And you only need to make 1 double crochet in that next stitch, and the stitch after also 1 double crochet as well. So yarn over hook, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over hook again and pull through the last 2 loops. Yeah. So we just made 1 double crochet here, and then 1 double crochet in the stitch right after, and we're almost done. At this very last stitch, we are going to make half double crochet increase. Okay, so again, half double crochet, yarn over hook, insert your hook, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through all 3 loops. But since it's an increase, we need to make another half double crochet in that same stitch. So yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through all 3 loops. Alright, we are now done. Let me mark the stitch marker first. At the end of round 3, make sure to count. You should have a total of 12 stitches in this round. Alright, for round 4, we are going to make 7 single crochet followed by 4 half double crochet, then 1 single crochet. So let's start. Okay, that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, 6, 7. So we just made 7 single crochet. Now let's make 4 half double crochet. So yarn over hook, insert the hook, yarn over hook, and then pull through, and then yarn over hook again and pull through 3 loops to make a half double crochet. So that's 1, that's the second half double crochet, the third one, okay, the fourth one, and in the last stitch make a single crochet. Since we are done with this round, let's mark the end of the round. Okay, so here's what the end of round 4 should look like. And you should have a total of 12 stitches in this round. For round 5, let's start off by making 7 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. After that, let's make an increase using the single crochet. Okay, that's 1 and 2. So that's a single crochet. That's an increase using the 2 single crochet. Okay. In the next 2 stitches, we're just gonna make 1 single crochet each. So that's 1, 2. Okay, it's just 2 single crochet. In the stitch after that, just an increase, the normal increase. So 1, 2, normal increase here. And in the last stitch, let's make 1 single crochet. Alright, so we are done with round 5, and since this is the last round, let's finish off with a long tail. Next, we are going to make a heart-shaped nose using this pink medium weight yarn and a 3.5 mm hook. So there's only going to be 1 round, and you're going to crochet in a magic ring. The way I like to do the magic ring is I'm going to start by crossing over the yarn, almost like how we started to make a loop, and I'm going to fold down the circle just like that, and I'm going to use my hook to pull this yarn that is right under the circle, and I'm going to twist this to the other side. And as you can see, this is almost like a loop on this side. The next step is to pull yarn over hook and pull this long end of the tail into a loop. So after I'm all done with this part, I would get this big loop that is somewhat secure. So I could resize this loop by pulling on this, short end of the tail as needed. Alright, this size is good enough. Now that we got the magic ring, let's make 2 double crochet. So yarn over hook, insert the hook through this ring, yarn over hook and pull through. See the 3 loops? Yarn over hook and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over hook and then pull through the last 2 loops to form a double crochet. So let's make 1 more. There we go. Next, let's make 3 half double crochet. So yarn over hook, insert the hook, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through all 3 loops. And then let's repeat 2 more times. Okay, so that's 3 half double crochet. Next, we are going to make 1 double crochet, there we go. Next, make 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Then make 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Once you are done, pause your work by enlarging this loop, and then you're going to want to pull on this short end of the tail. Make sure to pull it tight. You will notice that your piece will form like a heart. Okay. Now let's resume. The last stitch you will have to make, you can do that by inserting your hook into the middle of the heart. Okay. This stitch is called a slip stitch. You're going to yarn over hook and pull through. Notice how you have 2 loops. You're going to pull this first loop into the second loop. So that's it. Next, let's finish off with a long tail. Next, you can clean your heart a little bit, the heart-shaped nose, by insert the tail into the needle, and then I would just insert the needle through this middle hole in the heart just to secure it. And then on the back, just insert it somewhere else to tighten it like this. So now this part will not come loose. Next, we are going to make the tail using cream color medium weight yarn using a 3.5 mm hook. First, you're going to start off by making a new loop. So crossing the yarn over, fold it down, grab your hook, put it under this piece of yarn, and then pull through to form a loop. Then chain 2 times. 1, 2. After that, you will have to make 5 single crochet into this first chain. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, round 5. You can pull on this short end of the tail to make this hole in the middle smaller. So at the end of round 1, you should have 5 stitches in total. And as always, don't forget to mark the end of the round. For round 2, all we're going to do is single crochet around. What this means is in each stitch you will make 1 single crochet. So I'm gonna start off by making a single crochet in the first stitch, and then in the second stitch also 1 single crochet. In the third stitch 1 single crochet. On the fourth stitch also 1 single crochet, and on the fifth stitch just take out the stitch marker, also 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to mark the end of this round. At the end of round 2 you should have 5 stitches in total still. For round 3 and 4, you're just going to repeat the exact same pattern that you use for round 2. So here's what the end of round 4 looks like. For round 5, we're going to make an increase followed by 4 single crochet. Okay, that's an increase in the first stitch. Then let's make 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then take out the stitch marker. 4. At the end of round 5, you should have a total of 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And make sure to mark the end of the round. For round 6 to 9, all you're going to do is single crochet around. Again, single crochet around is just making 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So repeat that for 4 rounds, and I'll see you at the end of round 9. So here we are at the end of round 9. For round 10, let's make 3 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3. In the next stitch, make an increase. we go. In the last 2 stitches, make 1 single crochet in each, 1, and then take out the stitch marker, two. Let's insert back the stitch marker, so at the end of round 10 you should have a total of 7 stitches. For round 11 and 12, all you're just going to do is single crochet around. So for the next 2 rounds, just make single crochet. So here's the end of round 12. Now that we are done with the tail, let's finish off with a long tail. Next, we are going to make the head / the body of the opossum using this cream color super bulky yarn as well as the 6.5 mm hook. So first off, let's make a new loop. Once you have a loop, let's chain 2 times. 1, 2. And in the first chain, we are going to make 6 single crochet, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So once you're done, make sure to insert the stitch marker in this last stitch of this round. You should have a total of 6 stitches. Make sure to count, especially with this super bulky yarn or the chunky yarn, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see the stitches, so you want to be extra sure that you have the right amount. If you are not used to working with this type of yarn, you can use your finger to kind of feel where the stitches are, or if you need additional help, you can always put more stitch marker around each of the round. So for example, you might want to mark, every stitch in this round to begin with to help you see where the stitches are, or you can put the stitch marker in every other stitch. That can help as well, but make sure that the stitch marker that you mark the last stitch of the round is a different color than the other one that you want to mark. For round 2, we are going to follow a sequence. The sequence is 1 single crochet followed by an increase. So let's start. That's 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, 1, 2. I just made an increase. It's slightly harder to see, but this one is 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and in the second stitch I made an increase. Okay, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. That's 1 single crochet, 1, 2, that's an increase. Okay, one more time. This is 1 single crochet, and then let me take out the stitch marker. 1, 2, that's an increase in the last stitch. So now that we are done with round 2, let's insert the stitch marker back. So in a round 2, you should have a total of 9 stitches in this round. Round 3 is very similar. The sequence we are going to follow is 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch, followed by an increase. That's 1 single crochet. That's the second single crochet, and then let's make an increase. 1, 2. There's an increase right there on the third stitch. So we just did 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, followed by an increase. So let's repeat the sequence for 2 more times. So that's 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then an increase. So that's 1, that's 2, so that's an increase. Okay, make the sequence one more time. That's 1 single crochet, that's the second single crochet, and then let me take out the stitch marker and let's make an increase. 1, 2, that's an increase. So we are done with round 3. Let's mark the end of this round. So at the end of round 3, you should have a total of 12 stitches. Round 4, the pattern is a little bit irregular, so you just have to follow along with me. In the first stitch, let's make 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, make an increase. 1, 2, that's an increase. In the next 3 stitches, we are going to make 1 single crochet each. So that's 1 single crochet, that's the second single crochet, and that's the third single crochet. And in the stitch after that, make an increase. So that's 1, 2, so this is an increase. Okay, and then in the next 3 stitches, same thing, just make 1 single crochet in each. So that's 1, that's the second single crochet, and here's the third single crochet. In the stitch after that, make an increase. That's 1, 2, that's an increase right there. And in the last 2 stitches, make 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that's one single crochet right there, and I'm gonna take out the stitch marker and make one more single crochet. Now that we are done, again mark the end of the round. At the end of round 4, you should have a total of 15 stitches. For round 5, we are going to follow a sequence. The sequence is 4 single crochet followed by an increase. So let's start. So in the first stitch, make 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch here, which is the 4th stitch, make 1 single crochet. So we got 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the stitch after that, make an increase. Okay, here's an increase. So we're going to repeat that same sequence 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we just made 4 single crochet, and then let's make an increase. 1, 2, that's an increase. Okay, make the sequence one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let me take out the stitch marker and then make an increase. 1, 2. Okay, so now that we are done, let's mark the end of this round. Right now we're at the end of round 6. Oh no, we're at the end of round 5, and you should have a total of 18 stitches in this round. For round 6, we are going to follow a sequence, but the sequence is slightly irregular, so just follow along with me. First, we're going to make 3 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So let's start. 1, 2, 3. And in the stitch after that, make an increase. Okay, there we go. Then make 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make an increase. After that, make 3 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then make an increase in the stitch after. There we go. Then make 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the last stitch make an increase. Then mark the end of this round. So this is what the end of round 6 looks like. You should have a total of 22 stitches. 22 stitches. For round 7 is going to involve some color changing. If you need additional help apart from this tutorial on how to change the color, I do have tutorial on my Amigurumi 101 playlist. You can check that out as well. But I will try to show you how to do the color change slowly as well in this tutorial. So let's start. You're going to still continue with cream color yarn for now. So in the next 3 stitches, let's make 1 single crochet in each. 1, 2, and then on the 3rd stitch where we're going to make single crochet, because after this stitch we will have to make the color change. Typically when you make a single crochet, you will do something like this where you have the 2 loops and then you will pull the yarn all the way through to complete the single crochet. But since we are going to change the color, we're only going to do it halfway through. So let me undo that 3rd stitch for now and then show you again. So instead of making the full single crochet with cream color yarn, we're only going to do it halfway through. So let's insert your hook into that 3rd stitch, yarn over hook, and then pull through. And we're going to leave it as that. So in order to complete this single crochet in the 3rd stitch here, we're going to complete it using this gray color yarn in order to change the color as we're making the stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your gray color yarn and then put it over your hook to make it look like yarn over hook, okay? And you're going to pull this yarn into both loops, just like that. So when we make it like this, right now we have completed the single crochet, and at the same time we change the color into the gray color. And the stitch after this, we're going to make it in gray color as well. So in the next stitch we have to make 1 single crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook into this next stitch, but because we're still in the middle of changing color, we need to secure these remaining tail. You see the short end of gray color and then long end of cream color. To secure the tail, you will bring those 2 tails on top of your hook like here, and then kind of hold it down with whatever fingers you feel comfortable with. And then you're going to put the gray yarn over the hook, and then you're going to pull that through. Now you have the 2 loops, and then you can yarn over hook again and then pull through both loops to make a single crochet. Alright, so you can see that the first 3 stitches are made in cream color, and then this single crochet is in gray. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. In the 5th stitch is also gonna be gray color. So we just need to make 1 single crochet, but I'm only going to do it halfway through because now we'll need to switch back to cream color. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna leave this gray tail alone, and I'm gonna bring this cream color, put it over my hook, and then pull it through. Okay, and right after this we need to make another single crochet. So let me do that. And if you could remember, what you need to do is to secure the tail. So the tail that we need to secure is the old color. Right now the current color is cream and the old color is gray. So I'm gonna put that gray yarn over my hook. Okay, and then hold it down. And let's put the cream yarn over the hook and pull that through. So now we got 2 loops, so yarn over hook again and pull through both loops. So here we got the single crochet made with the cream color yarn. Alright, so for this round, the rest of this round will be crocheting with cream color. And because we don't need the gray color anymore for this round, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this tail and put it aside for now so that it's not in the way. And we can ignore that tail for now since we have already secured. Okay, so after this we need to make 2 more single crochet. 1, 2, and then after this make an increase. 1, 2, there's an increase right here. And next we are going to make 2 single crochet, then increase, and repeat that 3 times. 1 single crochet, that's the second single crochet, then I'm gonna increase, okay, and then I'm gonna make 2 more single crochet, 1, 2, then increase, and then 2 more single crochet, 1, 2, then increase, and then make 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. In the last stitch make an increase, there we go, then mark the end of this round. So at the end of round 7, you should have a total of 27 stitches. For round 8, we also going to do some color changing as well. The first 2 stitches is going to be made in cream color, so it's going to be 2 single crochet. So that's 1 single crochet, and then for the second single crochet I'm only going to do halfway through because now we need to change the color to gray. Alright, and same thing, let's hold the tail on the back for now and keep only the new color. The next stitch, on the third stitch, we are going to make 1 single crochet. Before you can make the single crochet, make sure to secure the tail by bringing those to the front and then make the single crochet. So we actually need to make, that's 1 in gray color, we need to make 3 more. And I'm just gonna bring over the tail once again. So that's 2, then that's 3, and then on the 4th one I'm only going to do it halfway since we need to switch back the color to cream. And on the next stitch, we're going to make single crochet with the cream color, so let's secure the dark gray tail. Alright. So from here on we need to make 10 more single crochet with cream color, and then including this one it would be 11 in total. And since it's, you know, quite a distance away from here, I'm just gonna trim this off, and then let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the 10th, I will only do it halfway since we need to again switch back the color to dark gray. And now we just need to make 10 single crochet until the end of this round with dark gray color. And don't forget to secure the tail by wrapping it over the hook as you make the single crochet, just like that. And then after this, we don't need to change the color back to cream anymore, so I'm gonna cut this off. And let's keep going. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's take out that stitch marker. 10. Let's mark the end of this round. So at the end of round 8, you should have a total of 27 stitches. For round 9, we are going to follow a sequence, and the sequence is 8 single crochet followed by an increase. Repeat that for 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after 8 single crochet, then we make an increase. Alright, this is an increase. So this is the sequence: 8 single crochet, then an increase, and then repeat 2 more times until the end of the round. This is the end of round 9. As you can see, you can start to see a little bit of the face for the opossum right now. And at the end of this round, you should have a total of 30 stitches. For round 10 to 12, all we're going to do is single crochet around. So that means you make 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 3 rounds. So I will see you at the end of round 12. Here's the end of round 12. You should have a total of 30 stitches still. Make sure to count before you proceed. For round 13, we are going to follow a sequence. The sequence is make 14 single crochet followed by an increase. Repeat that for 2 times. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then make an increase. 1. Okay, that's an increase. So we just made 14 single crochet followed by an increase. All you need to do is repeat that sequence 1 more time until the end of this round. Here's the end of round 13. You should have a total of 32 stitches in this round. For round 14 and 15, all you need to do is single crochet around, just like that. Just single crochet around for the next 2 rounds, and I will see you at the end of round 15. This is the end of round 15, and you should have a total of 32 stitches. For round 16, you are going to be following a sequence. The sequence is 6 single crochet followed by a decrease, and repeat that for 4 times. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then let's decrease. Here we go. So that's the sequence 1 time, and you need to repeat 3 more times until the end of the round. This is the end of round 16. You should have a total of 28 stitches at the end of this round. For round 17, you will follow a sequence that is 5 single crochet followed by a decrease. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it decrease. There. Then you are going to repeat this sequence for 3 more times until the end of the round. Here is the end of round 17, and you should have a total of 24 stitches at the end of this round. For round 18, the sequence we are going to follow is 1 single crochet followed by a decrease, and repeat that for 8 times. So let's start. That's 1 single crochet, and that's a decrease. Now repeat this sequence for 7 more times. This is the end of round 18, and you should have a total of 16 stitches in this round. Right now is a good time to start adding the stuffing. You want to push the stuffing in all the way to the tip. And make sure that this part feels stuffed. Just keep going, try to spread out uniformly. right now the opossum is fully stuffed with the stuffing, and let's finish our last round, round 19. In this round, all you're going to do is making decreases. So we're going to decrease for a total of 8 times. Alright. Alright, I just did one. And you're just going to do it 7 more times. And I will see you at the end of round 19. So here is the end of round 19. Now that we are done, let's finish off. We're going to finish off with a long tail again, because we need the tail to sew the whole clothes. So once you cut off the tail, we'll just pull this tail out of this loop, and here we go. Next, we are going to embroider the eyes using black color medium weight yarn. You're simply going to unwind the yarn and then insert the tail into the needle. And as for the location that we are going to sew the eyes, I have already marked it with the pin. As you may have noticed, the corner of the eye will be at the same level as you see this gray stitches. Alright, and it should be about 2 stitches away from this gray color stitch, so that's why I marked the pin on both sides. And then another pin down here, you just count down 1, 2, so it's 2 stitches long, as you can see here, and then the other one here as well. Now I'm going to start embroidering. You simply can just insert the needle anywhere nearby, and then I'm going to put the needle through one of the pins, and then let's pull a little bit, and as soon as I got that location down, I'm going to take out this pin because it's in my way. And now I'm going to insert the needle through another pin and then through somewhere out here, doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. And then let's move this yarn right at where the other pin is at. Okay, and then same thing over here. Okay, so you can see on this side we got the eye, and also on this side as well. And what I usually like to do is I like to wrap the eye around at least a couple times, just so that the outline of the eyes are a little bit thicker. If the stuffing comes out, you simply just pull it out. Make sure it's not visible. And then to finish it off, I will bring my needle back at where I start. Alright. And then now that we are done with the eyes, let's clean this off. The way I like to do it is, let's first trim the tails, and then we can simply tie these two tails into a knot, and then I would hide them inside of this guy. If you are using a scissor, be very careful. You don't want to poke the stitch and then cut it. Another thing you can use is a wooden chopstick. That works very well. Okay, and then you can hide the rest inside the body and you cannot see. Next, we are going to use this pink medium weight yarn to make the blushes on the cheek. It's gonna be right next to the eye. Usually I like to do just like a line because it looks cute. So same thing, I'm gonna insert my needle. This time I didn't mark the location because it's simple enough. Now that we have the location of the eye, the location of the cheek blush will just be relative to where the eye is at. So let's insert the needle. Okay, so the first one gonna be something like that. And then the second one is going to be right next to it. And since we also need to make it on the other side, I will start it off like right here. Okay. And then once you're done, just clean off the tail the same way I show you for the eye. Next, we are going to sew this nose on the face. First, let's insert the tail into the needle. And since this is the side of the face, we're simply going to face it this way and then put the nose on. Alright. And before you sew anything, always mark the location and secure the location of the parts, because you don't want it to move after you've sewn it on. That happened to me before and I had to undo all the sewing, so it was not fun. Yeah, so you could try to adjust it a little bit if it's not in the location that you want. I think I'm gonna move it up slightly. I'll try my best to keep this in focus. And the sewing process is pretty much the same. I typically like to insert my needle up on the parts I'm sewing and then down through another stitch. And then what you would do is grab the yarn on the other piece you're trying to attach on, and then repeat the same thing by inserting the needle up through the smaller piece. Okay, and going down, then grab a little bit of the stitch on the big piece here, and just repeat the same process till you're done sewing the nose. Here is the nose completely sewn on. If you have remaining tails, just make sure to hide it inside of the head or the body here. And next we are going to sew the ears onto the face. I have already marked the location of the ear is roughly 2 to 3 stitches apart. Alright, as you can see, and the ear should line up pretty well with the line here where it separates the color from cream to gray. Simply put the tail into the needle and then you can start sewing. I think this part is gonna be kind of hard to see on the camera because the ear itself is in black color, but technically the sewing process is the same as I show you for the nose. The only thing you need to make sure is that this ear is flattened. You want it flat rather than like this. Okay, flatten it. So I might skip this part of the tutorial just because it's a little bit hard to show on the camera and you cannot really see the stitch anyway. So I will come back after the ear are sewn on. So I have just finished sewing on the ears, as you can see. Next, you will have to sew on the feet, and for the feet, make sure it's unflattened. You don't want to flatten it because you want it to be round. And typically what I do is I need to add some stuffing a little bit before you completely sew the feet, so that's what you'll have to do. And right now I have pinned all 4 feet on the body, so the front one is gonna be right next to this line right here, and the back feet will be around 2 stitches away from the front feet, same as the other side. And the way you place on the feet actually matters, because if we go back to the piece we made before, I'm showing you the lighter color one because it's easier to see, but this side of the feet, if I put it this way, this side is shorter than this side. The shorter side is going to face the belly, okay, and then the longer side will be on the outer. So if I'm gonna put this feet on, it's going to be in this orientation where the shorter side is facing the belly. And if I were to put this feet on the other side, then the shorter side will still face the belly. Okay, so make sure your placement is correct before you sew on the feet. Alright, so I have sewn the legs on to the body, as you can see, but I haven't completely sewed it all the way just yet. So I kind of sew it halfway, a little bit more than that. And then now we are going to add in the stuffing. I like to use a tweezer. Make sure to use the one that you're exclusively use for your craft. Or you can also use a chopstick. A wooden chopstick also work as well. So just a little bit. We're going to stuff. Okay. That's good enough. And then do the same thing for all of the legs. Okay. And then once you're done stuffing, then let's sew it completely. Let's sew this hole close. You're going to insert this tail into the needle. And then since it's a slightly larger hole, what we can do is I'm gonna insert the needle to the next stitch, going from inside out. Okay, and I'm not gonna pull hard yet, and then we're just gonna go up the stitch after from, well, I went outside in, sorry for saying it wrong, but now we're going inside out. And then we're going to alternate. And the other way you can do it is you go down the next stitch from outside in, and then go out the stitch out after from the inside out. Okay. And why doing that? Just use your finger to push down the stuffing so it doesn't come out. So just gonna keep going until we complete the round. I think that's it. So after you're done, just pull for the hole to get smaller. Alright, that's pretty good. And I'm just gonna secure it a little bit. There might be stuffing coming out, but that's okay. Once you are done, simply push the tail back in and then hide all that back inside the body. Alright. And then last but not least, we are going to sew the tail to the butt. And this tail actually does not have any stuffing in it, and it's also flexible if you need to shape it or curl it up or make it straight, which is nice. Anyway, let's grab the needle and insert this remaining tail into the needle, and we're simply going to sew this on. Alright, we are almost done. Just a little bit more. So once done, same thing. Let's kind of put this inside of the body. I'm just making this tiny knot. You don't have to, but you can. Alright, we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.